Of the three principles, progression can be a little tricky. For you to apply the principles of progression, you must also understand the FITT principles. Remember, the principle of progression says that what you have been doing is no longer difficult, so now you must change it to make it a little harder. We change it by applying the FITT principles. FITT stands for frequency, intensity, time, and type. Frequency. We can create a progression in an activity and make it harder by doing the activity more often. So instead of doing 10 modified push-ups 3 times a week, we can start doing them at a higher frequency and do 10 modified push-ups 4 or 5 times a week. Intensity. We can create a progression in an activity and make it harder simply by making it harder, by raising the intensity we work at. Instead of 10 modified push-ups 3 times a week, we can start doing 4 regular push-ups and then 6 modified push-ups 3 times a week. Time. We can create a progression in an activity and make it harder by doing the activity for a longer period of time. Instead of doing 10 modified push-ups 3 times a week, we can do 15 modified push-ups 3 times a week. That might sound a little tricky because I didn't say I would do the activity for a certain amount of time. But when you think about it, you know that it should take longer to do 15 push-ups than 10 push-ups. If we were doing interval training, I would simply work for a longer interval or a longer workout session, a 20-minute workout instead of a 15-minute workout. Type. We can create a progression in an activity and make it harder by changing the kind of activity we do. Be careful not to forget about the rule of specificity here. Instead of doing 10 modified push-ups 3 times a week, I can do 10 modified push-ups on a medicine ball 3 times a week. I might use a chest press machine or do a bench press, as long as I'm working on the same muscle group. That's specificity. Let's see how well you can identify which FITT principle this example is illustrating to cause a progression. This is type, because it is harder by changing the kind of activity. This is frequency, because it is harder by doing an activity more often. This is intensity, because we make it harder by just working harder. This is time, because by doing more repetitions, it affects how long the person will perform the activity. So now that you understand the principles of training, you can start to train yourself and help others. Samantha would like to improve her overall fitness. First, identify the goal. After taking a fitness test, Samantha knows that her core is weak, so she would like to start there. Keeping the principle of specificity in mind, we know the best way to improve core strength is to do exercises that involve abdominal muscle, lower back muscle, and her obliques, the sides of her stomach. So this will include exercises like curl up, plank, crunches, twists. Now we prescribe an activity, remembering to put her in overload and address each of the FITT components in the prescription. Samantha will do 3 sets of 30 seconds modified planks on her knees 3 days a week to improve her core strength. See if you can determine which FITT components are identified in each of these prescriptions. This is frequency because it explains how often. This is type because it describes what kind. This is type and intensity because it explains what kind and how hard. This is type and time because it explains what kind and how long. This is a complete prescription because it explains what kind, how often, how long, and how hard. With this knowledge, you are on your way to owning your own fitness. You know the health-related fitness components, and this is how we determine your fitness level. You know the skill-related fitness components, and that having more of these skills will help you feel more comfortable in more activities. You know the principles of training and the components of FITT, so you can create a plan to improve in just about anything you'd like to improve. Now let's see how well you can do this on your own. Well, almost on your own. You and 2 other students will be assigned a shared document in Google Classroom. Complete one of the prescriptions and check the work of your team members. We will review this assignment in class. Good luck!